All right, it is Friday, July 22nd, and I'm going to do a trade recap of ES on the day. We're going to start it from the very beginning of the day prior to any candles forming and show you what I was seeing and what I did. Um, should have been a lot bigger day for me. I did switch to the 5 minute and kind of got chopped up a little bit trying to scalp it, and it was bad. And then finally, kind of took a step back, gathered myself, switched back to the 15 minute, and then made some trades to end green on the day. So I want to go over what I saw pre-market. So this was pre-market. Here's the daily. Let's see. Well, the 4 hour. 4 hour. Here's what I was seeing. I know this looks a little crazy with all these zones, but the main thing I was looking at and seeing was this major trend line right here where we bounced at the bottom, bounced here, and bounced here. So 3 touches is a very strong trend, and that is something that you're going to want to look for. I also had this 1 hour zone at 39.63, which corresponded with a key level of mine. And then I did have was this a 90 minute? No, 2 hour? 3 hour? I think it was a 3 hour. Yes, 3 hour here at 39.45 area. So this first zone, this 2 hour, it wasn't super strong or clean, but I marked it. Corresponded to this stronger zone here, this 3 hour at 39.45, and then I did have this supply zone right up top here. This zone right here where we made a big drop, a big move down. I'd marked just the whole zone itself because it was just an area of consolidation. There wasn't a super clean green candle followed by a big drop. So what I did was I went to the 4 hour, marked the low of the previous candle from the huge drop all the way to the top of the range, and this was my zone. So I was looking for supply reject at 40.15 area, anywhere up to 40.32. The top of that zone also did align with a key area of mine at 40.30 area. So this is what I was seeing prior to market open. We had supply above, demand below, and a major trend line that we were looking at here. So let's go to the 15 minute. So this is where we opened. Notice volume was increasing. We're kind of forming like a cup here. 4,000 was a big psych level that everyone was watching. The previous day close was at 4,005, or excuse me, 4,001. Previous high a day was 4,005. So we were opening right as we were approaching those levels. So if we go through the 15-minute bar by bar, you'll see exactly what the market was telling us and what you should have done. So we open up kind of an up and down candle. Buyers were strong, but we were looking for a zone to hit. So this was a no trade candle. Volume was really high. That's to be expected at these key levels. And I was expecting price to kind of play games around the 4,000 area just due to the hold number that's there. So we opened up, we were pushing up into supply a little bit or about to hit it. So we were looking for shorts out of this area. Next 15-minute candle hit. Notice, okay, so we did hit supply on this candle, right? And we did reject down to the very low wick of the previous candle. If you look at this on the 30-minute, that is a huge bearish candle. Volume is massive. Literally, we don't even come close to this volume the previous 2 days. It's an engulfing candle on the 30. It's an engulfing candle on the 15. And the thing that gave away the sellers and their strength was how close this volume was to the open. So this volume almost matches the opening volume. If you look on previous days, that's usually not the case. Right here, we opened, volume was a lot lower. Opened here, volume, the next candle, way lower. Same with this day down here. So when you see something like that, you know, okay, this is a short. We hit supply above, we're going to target demand below. The problem that I did and what I messed up on was I shorted right here. So I also did draw this trend line in from the day. So I shorted the low of this candle. Not necessarily a bad entry. I mean, I guess it is kind of a bad entry considering the risk because you should be risking the high day. So if you were doing 10 points and you wanted to short this candle and you wanted a max risk of 10 points, you would probably, let's see, where would you short? So you want this to be about 10. You'd probably short the top of that candle. And if you want to target demand, you're going right here. So 45 points down to, so this is almost a 5-to-1 trade. If you give this candle a couple points to the upside and target demand below. So that's 5-to-1. So my problem was I shorted the low. I should have waited for a pullback or a limit order at the previous close or even the previous high of day. That probably would have been a better entry. So I was stopped out on this first trade. But that doesn't mean to go long here or anything. Volume was huge. We engulfed the previous 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, almost 8 candles on this one candle. So that is extremely bearish. A better entry would have been waiting for this trend line to break and have a close under it. So we'll see what the next candle brings. We did break down and shot back up. Now, I know some people were looking to get long here, and I don't see that. Reason being, this volume is so low. If this truly was strong buying coming in the market, I would expect it to be up here a lot higher and then reverse back up. One thing we also did create was a rough 15-minute supply. So, push back up on low volume. What is that? That is a low volume pullback. So if you wanted to short there, it would have been tough because you don't really know what this next candle is going to do. It could push up even higher. I would if I was going to short a zone, this 15-minute zone might have been the key. So let's see. We come back up again. We hit the zone. We doji out on a pullback on super low volume. This would be your sign to go short if there was. The strength showed to the downside, risking 10 points. And we do have this major trend down here. So maybe you would target that instead. But if you want to target zone to zone, you would do this. So this would be a 3.5 to 1 trade. So that was your key to go short. If you were looking for a low volume pullback that rejected supply right here. Next candle, we form a flag. This is what I would do. Connect the highs and lows. Connect the highs and lows kind of like this. We have a flag, okay? Don't know what it's going to do, but this is also low volume. So this signal to go short is still valid. These candles only validate this short candle. If they invalidated, you would have seen volume pick up and us push much higher. So what I actually did on this, I went to the damn 5-minute and I started scalping this bullshit because I was a little on tilt from this stop from my short here being stopped out. I shorted 94 and then we came up and literally like ticked me out at 94. So that was a little upsetting. I did go on tilt a little bit and then I was down scalping this nonsense. So what I did was I gathered myself, told myself, okay, we're going back to the 15-minute. This looks bearish. We are going to catch something. Now, this candle. This is the actual candle that I shorted after going on tilt from shorting this low. Why did I short this? Because this is the previous high of day right here. Blue, light blue, dotted line. Got above it, closed under it. This blue dotted line right here is the previous close of yesterday. So we broke out of this bear flag or this wedge, if you want to call it, and we rejected. So you know there are people that took this long on the breakout and now are trapped. Volume was the same as the previous candle. So with this big wick up here, that's a sign that, okay, sellers are strong. We wicked at this zone again. If you did take a limit order at the high of this candle or the open of this candle, it would not have gotten filled. So that does suck. But I think if you did have a limit order here and you saw this would be a sign to get short because this gives you a good place to put your entry and your stop. Here's your 10 points. So again, this is risking 3.8 to 1 reward to risk. So that is what I did. I ended up shorting this candle for a break lower to possibly test this trend line at least down here where we had seen previous buyers, and then target demand if we could break it. So there's your trade. You're in. Breakdown. Okay. So once we're in the trade, we are not selling until our stop loss hit or our first profit target hits. I believe this one did hit my first profit target pretty close of the first like 10 points or so. So someone did ask me if this wick scares me when I'm in the trade. It does worry me a little bit, but if you're not closing till your profit targets hit or your stop loss hits, really there's nothing you can do about it. Also, it is scary, but volume is flat. It's the exact same as the last half hour. And so this shows me that buyers are not that strong. Yes, people bought some of the bottom. I think there's a lot of people covering their shorts. If it was strong buying, I would expect this candle to be higher. If I were short here, I hit my 10 points and then this volume was up here, I may look to close it because of this wick and because strong buying. But because the volume was the exact same, the overall trend is still intact. This short is still valid. None of these 15-minute candles invalidate this short. The only problem is with this short, you just had to wait for a pullback to get short instead of shorting the low. So we're in the trade, hit that. Next candle, extremely strong candle. No wick, top or bottom, volume starting to pick up. Great trade so far. No reason to close because if you get a candle like this on the 15 and volume is starting to increase, you're going to get a follow through to the downside. So great trade so far. Broke the lows here, testing this low right here. So we see what the next candle brings. Next candle breaks trend line, breaks these lows, doesn't quite hit our zone down here. I did actually end up selling some down here in this wick because this is where, where buyers started to step in. So volume is huge, so you definitely want to scale some there because that's a strong push in your favor. But this isn't a long. This isn't a reversal. Yes, it does have a wick, but look at the body. It's huge. The body versus the wick. Body is larger. That just shows me people are covering and buying down here, sure, but I don't think this is a reversal yet because look how strong this is. Look at the previous candle. If you look at the candles here, which ones are the largest? All the red candles are huge. Sellers. Not really buying, not really buying, not really buying. Sellers. So you should scale some there and then leave runners to possibly hit this target demand down here if you wanted. Next candle, I don't think that should scare anybody. This looks like a flag, very low volume pullback. So nothing really to be worried here. Also, we are at this overall trend right here. So I would not always, but I would expect price to flag at this level before it breaks. Typically on these major trend lines, price will flag above it or hit it and flag and then break. Very rarely do you see price just fall through this major trend line, because this is a trend line that's been holding for almost 2 weeks. So price is not just going to fall through it. It will typically flag at that trend line, or right prior to it, it would flag up here and then break down. But next candle is green on very low volume. So I would think this is a low volume pullback, nothing to be worried about. Obviously, you scaled some here because you got in way up here on the break, and now you go to the next candle. Boom, another red candle in your favor, breaks the lows almost at demand. I would definitely scale some more there based on rules of scaling when you get strong 15-minute candles in your favor. And then this next one, we touch demand at 39.63.25, literally to the tick. But notice the volume's low. So that doesn't say reversal to me whatsoever. Reason being, volume needs to come in at the lows. So for me, I would expect this to, if we were going to bounce, to have to retest, break into this zone a little bit, have volume come in and push up, and then we bounce back. So here, I would not be looking long. I would be looking at, hey, saying, this is probably consolidation at the lows or at this zone. We're going to have to see what happens. But the trend is extremely strong. You would not want to long this whatsoever. Next candle, another low volume pullback. So notice volume is dying while we flag. Very common theme. Also notice we test this trend line. We wick at it. We tested the top side. Now we're testing the downside. So this is another short that I took. I shorted right here. After this tested, I put a limit order in to at least come back a little bit. Luckily it got filled, but there was no guarantee of that. But if you did do this for 10 points, again, you could have even shorted the low of that wick and you would have been fine. But a limit order is usually better. I need to get better about using them, but even if you limit ordered, at the open of this candle, it still gives you a lot of room here, and it's more likely that it'll be hit versus going halfway up the wick and maybe not getting hit. So I'd say that is a good short right there. But I did short this candle due to the low volume pullback. And I was not expecting us to keep selling off. I was thinking we were at least going to get, another 10-point drop that I could at least get a little bit of money on. So that's what I did. Shorted it. We're back. Volume is falling off while we flag. Very good sign that buyers are not strong, and we will see continuation, especially since we are under this trend line and now we're testing it from the lows. And there you go. You get another strong red candle in your favor on volume. Every single red candle, or most of them on this day, has volume. Green has low volume. There's no reason to go long whatsoever if you're trend trading this. If you're scalping, yes, sure. But if you're trend trading, every single big candle red has volume. So you should have scaled some there, or possibly looked to scale some. Again there. So this volume is up, yes, but the trend is so strong, there's no way that this is a reversal candle. It does show buyers are down here, but you would want to see, like a hammer or something with a little bit more wicks. Also the volume, yes, it is rising, but it's not big. Like if you saw big volume like this on a hammer with a small body, maybe you could scalp that long, or that would be an actual reversal. This just shows that there's buying down here. It is picking up a little bit, but it's not super strong. And there you go. We almost hit our next zone down here. I did scale out at this dotted line. This was 39.48. This is the 3 days ago previous higher low. I'm I'm guessing it's the high of the day. But those are great areas to look for trades. This is also, this orange is the higher low from 2 days ago. Again, look how it acts as support and resistance. So scaled out there, and I was done for the day. Those are my trades. Got caught in this bullshit, so it should have been a huge day for me. But lesson learned: don't look at the 5. Fuck the 5 minute. It'll just chop you up basically. Whereas the 15 will save you from getting in chop, and then you can catch these big moves using the 15. So go through the rest of the day. Again, flag at the lows. Volume is really weak on that. This was possibly a long, but due to the trend and how far we're under the moving average, like I wouldn't look to long anything on this day. I would just look for pullbacks to get short. And there we finally hit demand. Again, strong red candle, high volume. Sellers are in total control on the whole day. So if you scaled out, there's a few scale out points down here. Obviously, this drop isn't as quick as the previous one, but this trend is extremely strong. So this would be another scale out area. Low volume pullback, nothing there. Again, just flagging at the lows. Looks like there are some buyers, but really this is just a flag again. I don't really see much. So you get a pullback there. I was done for the day. So all this price action is new to me. This did show some buyers stepping in with some volume, but I mean, look at the trend. Like, are you really going to long this after we just sold off, over 60 points, 70 points? I don't think that would be smart. Again, it's just a pullback to the previous key level, 39.63, white dotted line. Volume comes in again on the red candle, and you get your end of day right there. So that was the day. So the 15-minute was extremely helpful. Let me bring up my trade of 8. I'll show you my fills. I'm kind of embarrassed at the 5-minute fills because it's just not cool. But the 15-minute, once I switched back, was able to really nail the trade. So you can see here, what the hell? Dude, what is wrong with my chart? There we go. So you can see most of my fills. Short of the low was a really bad entry. And then started to scalp this and lost some, and I said, oh, fuck that. So this is the 15-minute. Got this short signal at the 15, and then boom, we were off to the races. So I caught, three candles down, sold the lows here, waited for us to kind of come down, and we kind of chopped around. I did scalp this little pop because this was the bottom of the demand zone, but just a quick short. And then we did get in short on this candle right here and caught that second leg almost down to low a day. But yep, so got all my money back after that, which was nice. And then some. So end of the week really green. Execution could have been a lot better by not looking at the 5 minutes. So that's my goal going into next week is screw the 5-minute, fuck the 5-minute. It'll just chop you out, whereas this 15 will save you from the chop, and then you can catch these huge moves when we have them. So that's the goal, and that's the overview on the day. I hope that helps you guys kind of see what I was seeing, and then was able to fix what I was doing, because this is just so dumb. So I'm glad I was able to catch both of these legs. Caught it, short, scalped long, and then short again. So let me know if you have any questions on the day or kind of what I saw, or if something doesn't make sense. Feel free to reach out. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good weekend.